Understanding the different generation in digital transformation is one of the many complex problems organizations face today. Using a traditional segmentation of the generation as we know today, like the baby boomers, the millennials, the Generation Z, and so on and so forth, is unfortunately proving insufficient to reflect the digital preferences of customers. But this is a very important question you have to tackle during your digital transformation to avoid losing your customer to potential new competitors. In our model, we have 4 types of generation: the classics, the converted, the digitals, and the natives. Our model is segmenting the generation based on the way they are using and apprehending technology. If you look at the former way of looking at the generation, let's take the millennials, for example. According to Wikipedia, a millennial is anyone born between the 1980 to the 2000. But we strongly believe that someone born in the early 80s is consuming product in a whole different way than someone born in the late 90s. And this is why our model is segmenting generation based on behavior and adoption. It's rather a matter of mentality than age. So let's look at the classics. Those people have been living the majority of their lives through the traditional offering that they receive through a traditional challenge in a traditional business model. They will be the one reading the newspaper every day and even paying for a subscription. They will be the one visiting the bank office, maybe weekly. They will be the one that will go to the travel agency to book their holiday. Those people have their habits in them, and it's going to be very hard for you to move them through a different channel in a different business model. No matter your digital ambition, if your company is currently serving the classics, you better keep a traditional business model to keep on serving them as long as possible. Those customers are very loyal and have a very high spending basket, so you can't afford to lose them. Now let's look at the converted. What is very specific about the converted is that they make use of traditional business translated into the digital world. For example, they remain loyal to the bank, but use its app. They still read the local newspaper, but this time on tablet. They will use exactly the same service they were using before digital and translate it to the digital world. This generation is not actively looking to consume from new business model. They are usually the first focus of companies when they go digital. Now, let's look at the digitals. What is striking with the digital is that they are a very active group of people that struggle to organize their life efficiently. Of course, they are digital technology fluent, but they are not necessarily techies or geeks. They use digital as the way to make their life simpler and more efficient. They've been raised with traditional business model, but if they find a decent alternative in a new business model that will help them better organize their life and be more efficient on a daily basis, they won't hesitate to jump the boat and go elsewhere. This is the decisive generation. They are the ones that start letting go of the old business model to adapt a new business model with better user experience. They are the ones that will prefer Kareem over the taxi, and Rami over buying albums and songs at the mall. And because they are so receptive to new business model, they are obviously the first target of those new challengers in the market. Just Mop, Talabat, Netflix, and all the other players that are challenging you and disrupting your industry. And last but not least, the natives. Those are the children of today. Often younger than 10 years old, they have been raised with tablets, video on demand, online shopping. They just don't remember the way we used to consume before. They don't remember plugging in to access internet. They don't remember going to the mall to print the photograph they took on holiday. They don't remember all of the behavior we used to have with the former way of consuming. There is a real gap between the natives and the other generation. Those really represent the future of our customers. Luckily, we won't have to worry too much for the next 10 years. But keep in mind that those consumers are the ones that will disrupt your business in the future. So now that we understood those 4 types of audiences, it's time to ask ourselves the question, how can we fulfill the expectation? Is there one solution that can resonate with all those types? Well, the simple answer is no. There is no one-size-fits-all. Many companies invest massively in digital infrastructure. But is that really enough? Most of these investments seem mainly focused on fixing the basics, which means targeted the converted and the traditionals. At the same time, we see that the disruptive model of the new digital players are mainly focused on the digitals. All of them have been seduced by the opportunity to quickly gain traction in a market without being bothered by traditional incumbents. But be careful, because we can see that some of those new disruptive business models start moving in the direction of the converted and the classics. If you think about Amazon, for example, they recently announced that they are considering distributing toy catalog this winter in Whole Foods to target the converted and the classics. In this context, it's becoming clear that traditional companies have to do more than simply invest in digital to serve their current customer. They also need to think about developing new business models for the digital and the native generation. So please, don't forget to take into account those different audiences choices when driving your transformation. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, don't hesitate to subscribe and keep on following for more videos like this. See ya!